Hey guys, and welcome to the November 2015 edition of Casual MTG. This is a monthly series I do here on the Nitsuhon Magic channel. These are decks that are super budget. This one costs just over $5 on Magic Online, for example. And they're mostly intended for kitchen table play, but they're all pretty fun. They're usually based around some quirky effect or sometimes, certain cards that people don't normally play, but the deck tries to make effective use of them anyway. This month, the deck is based around effects that give your opponents tokens. Normally, it's a downside on cards, but the goal of this deck is to sort of make it less of a downside or not a downside at all, while playing hyper efficient spells that have a downside, which is why they're so hyper efficient in that they give my opponent tokens. But the deck tries to prevent my opponent from getting as much out of those tokens. So we have a number of cards in the deck that give our opponents tokens, but first I'll start with the cards that best enable the deck to succeed despite giving my opponent tokens. There are 4 illness in the ranks, which makes my all creature tokens get -1/-1. So it makes the tokens smaller, and I have 4 of them. I also have 3 virulent plagues, which give -2/-2 to all tokens. So that's good as well. I also have echoing truth, which can be used to bounce the same kind of token, like if they have 12 goblin tokens in play. 1 echoing truth can get rid of all of them. So that's sort of the way the deck takes advantage of effects that give my opponents tokens. And now we'll talk about the cards in the actual deck. For removal, I have 4 Pongifies, which destroys any creature. It can't be regenerated for 1 blue. And they put a 3/3 green ape creature token onto the battlefield, which will likely be smaller than a 3/3. Rapid Hybridization is basically the same thing. 1 mana gives them a 3/3, but it's a frog lizard instead. Then I have Swan Song, which is a good counter spell in general. It can counter an enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. Usually I use this to protect my win conditions. And it gives my opponent a 2/2 blue bird creature token as the downside. Then our 2 win conditions, our primary ones, really our only ones, I guess, are Hunted Horror, who's a 2 mana 7/7 with trample, so he has to have some downside, and he does. My opponent gets 2 3/3 centaur creature tokens with protection from black. So the downside about Hunted Horror, even if you have things going the way you want to, is you can play it and you're on turn 2 and your opponent gets 2 centaurs and can swing at you for 6 right away. Usually it's best to avoid playing him on turn 2 unless it looks like you'll have like a straight shot. It's better to play him on like turn 4 after you can already weaken the centaurs or eliminate them. And we also have Hunted Phantasm, who's a 4/6 who can't be blocked, but gives my opponents 5/1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Other ways to deal with the tokens that I forgot to mention are 2 Drown in Sorrows, which gives -2/-2 to everything, which kills none of our creatures, but will kill all their tokens and maybe some other things. I also have Underworld Connection to help us draw into our win conditions and our enchantments that weaken our opponent's tokens. And there are 2 Curse of Swines, which is removal that puts 2 green boar, 2/2 green boar creature token onto the battlefield for the opponent. The deck is very cheap. As I said, I don't have any shock lands or fetch lands or even... I do have pain lands in this deck. And I'll show you what the deck comes out to on MTGO Traders, which is just over $5 as of early November 2015. And that's the whole deck. So it's very cheap and easy to make. It's a lot of fun to play. And I hope you'll watch me play a few games with it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.